What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today it looks like we've had a pretty gosh darn significant update in terms of release dates for the English version of the Digimon trading card game, which sounds amazing. Now, this is all coming from GTS Distribution, which is obviously one of the distributors which deals with the Digimon trading card game, and it seems to be that we've got actual factual release dates, including for BT5, which you'll notice isn't actually out in Japan at the moment. It's just gone and been a little bit spoiled. So we're going to talk about what we know, we're going to refresh our release schedule, and we are going to compare it to Japan, because I think that's what we need to do in a situation like this. Now, obviously, the big news here is the release date for the Battle of Omni. That is BT5. And assuming this is to be believed, and it is from GTS Distributions, which seems pretty believable, what we've got here is firstly a very nice clear look at the booster pack and the booster box. Confirmation of the name Battle of Omni. Now, we could have seen this coming because originally it's Battle of Omega in Japan, but Omegamon is Omnimon over here, so we should have expected the name to change ever so slightly to Battle of Omni. What I do have an issue with is that they're still using the Greek letter Omega, but then calling it Battle of Omni, and that letter is not Omni, that letter is Omega, and that's super annoying. The release date is listed here as the 25th of June, which, yes, is about a month after BT4 and is much sooner than we initially expected. Now, we'll get to all of this in a minute, but it must be borne in mind very quickly once again here, we have 12 card booster packs. I was told by so many people how dumb I was for suggesting that we would keep having 12 card booster packs, and how obvious it was that we would be going to 6-card booster packs like in Japan, given that 4 sets in, because remember BT5 is going to be our 4th set and that's always going to be confusing. 4 sets in, we're still at 12 cards per pack. I think we can put that to rest here. Now, it is interesting to note here that we've got 112 cards total, and it probably won't shock you to learn that Battle of Omega over in Japan has 112 cards total. So just like we saw with BT4, this looks like a card-for-card reprint of the Japanese set. We've got the same booster pack artwork, we've got the same name, we've got the same numbering. I know it's the 4th set, but keeping it as BT5 for, keeping it like Japan is a good thing. And 112 cards is exactly what we see in Japan. So we can expect there will be 44 common, 30 uncommon, 26 rares, 10 super rares, and 2 secret rares. We've not yet seen all of the cards from BT5 in Japan, but I'm covering every single card as it is revealed on the channel, so follow them along, and if you're not subscribed yet to follow along, might I suggest you do so rather quickly. And that's what we know about BT6 at the moment. We know the release date of the 25th of June. This is not confirmed, but it's listed on a distributor website, so we can probably believe it. We know that it is 12 cards per pack. We know that it is called Battle of Omni, despite using the Omega symbol, which annoys me. And we know that it's going to be a card-for-card reprint of Japan, unless for some weird reason that makes absolutely no sense, they cut some cards from the Japanese set, but then add in some more cards. None of this makes any sense whatsoever, so I think we can ignore that for the time being. Now, if we compare that to the Japanese release is the 26th of February. What that means is we have got ourselves a 4-month gap, pretty much exactly a 4-month gap between the Japanese release and the English language release here, which seems to be a sensible kind of gap. Now, if we have a look at BT4, which is of course the next set we're getting after Booster 1.5, that is scheduled for release on the 7th of May, as it stands at the moment. Now, again, that has essentially been confirmed as a card-for-card reprint of the Japanese set. And this is interesting because it basically gives us about 1 month and 3 weeks, just a little bit shy, between the releases of these 2 sets. As it stands, there are 7 weeks between the release of BT4 and BT5. And I know some people are not going to enjoy this, some people aren't going to like this, some people are going to consider that that is too small a gap, and that the products are coming out too fast, and that is going to make it very difficult for players and collectors alike to actually get all of the cards they want to get. All of these are perfectly normal, sensible, rational concerns. But what they're essentially doing is setting the gap between us and Japan. What they are doing is saying, look, this is the gap we want to have, which seems to be 4 months, and they are going to do that. So we should at this stage assume that there is going to be about a 4-month gap between us and Japan. It probably is worth at this stage having a look at the gap in BT4. BT4 over in Japan is currently scheduled, what am I talking about, is out. It's literally come out, and it came out on December the 18th. So there is a near 5-month gap between BT4 in Japan and BT4 here, but just a 4-month gap between BT5. And maybe they'll bring that down again. Now, if a 4-month gap is what they want, they'll stop here. We might see the gap being shortened a little bit again, but what you can expect is for Bandai to essentially set the gap they want and then keep to it. So we might see BT6 with another short gap, or it might be 4 months stands about right. I.e., yes, these two sets are 7 weeks apart, but you should expect them to be slightly further apart in the future. So what does that give us in terms of an English release schedule at the moment? Well, Booster 1.0 is currently scheduled for the 12th of February. Remember that did see a little bit of a delay. And Booster 1.5 is listed as the 12th of March. Again, that was also delayed. So we're getting those in the not too distant future. Remember that there is a premium pack set which is coming out in April, though as it stands at the moment, we've only got April listed as a release date. We've not got a specific date which is actually listed there, so we're going to have to wait and see for that one. As for the next lot of starter decks, those being the green, black, and purple starter decks, they are currently listed for release on the 7th of May. We'll then get BT4 again on the 7th of May on that same day. And BT5, as mentioned, is listed for the 25th of June. As it stands at the moment, that is the release date, but I do need to caution you and remind you at this stage that things can change. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, all right? What that means is that we cannot just rely on these release dates not changing, and it's not because Bandai are inept, and it's not some weird conspiracy or any of that garbage. It is because we are in a global pandemic right now, and distribution and production is massively, massively constrained. Now, as for Japan, they have had BT4 already released. That came out last month. BT5 in Japan is currently listed for the 26th of February, and although we don't have official confirmation, we are sure that the next theme decks 7 and 8, are coming on the 23rd of April, and BT6 Double Diamond is coming out on the 28th of May. And this is going to be an interesting test, because if the kind of 4-month gap between us and Japan holds, then this will be coming out for us at the end of September. If it comes out before then, it is Japan shortening the gap. The important thing at the moment is don't look at the gaps between our releases. Look at the gaps between our releases and Japan's, because if you look at like any other card game, what essentially happens is that a particular gap is set, and then we fall into a rhythm from there. At the moment, we might still be catching up, so don't assume that BT6 is going to be 7 weeks after BT5. Look for the gap with Japan first and foremost. This is exciting news, ladies and gentlemen. This is super exciting news. We've got confirmation of BT5 in English. We've got a release date. We've got confirmation it is essentially a card-for-card reprint. We've got a nice picture of the booster box. we've got a lot of news here. And of course, by now you should know that when there's any news, I will be there, ladies and gentlemen. I will be there. For now, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know how excited you are by BT5. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, where we talk about Digimon and all kinds of fun things. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.